their hopes alive.
Hello, everybody. Well, if you're just joining us, it's the 2014 FIBA Basketball World Cup Group C here in Bilbao. It's Ukraine taking on New Zealand. The Ukraine players being introduced. And really, when you talk about Ukraine, you could talk about any one of their players. They all seem to have the same level of importance.
Well, many describe Ukraine as one of the true teams in the tournament. I must say that they have really lived up to that description. They have been able to find players to step in for the injured star Sergei Gladier in Game 3 after he went down with an ankle injury in Game 2. Point guard Alexander Mishula and Igor Zaitsev, the big man, they stepped it up big time last night. Will they be able to do it again, or will others rise to the occasion? That's the big question for the day. But someone's going to have to do it to complement Pujeter, the charismatic floor general and the stats leader for the Ukrainians.
Well, Mike Fratello was talking yesterday about the importance of Zaitsev and Mishula to really step up when they did. For New Zealand, I guess you could say that nobody has really stepped up yet when it mattered.
Well, I mean, they have shown a lot of upside and bright moments here in Bilbao. Unfortunately, also a lot of inconsistency and mental lapses that have plagued them and cost them dearly. And as a result, they are still looking for their first win. The Kiwis haven't found their mark beyond the arc. They shoot only 29%. And that's way too low for a team that depends heavily on the outside shooting. No question that Kirk Benny is going to have to step it up, and he needs to lead in this department. He hasn't been his usual self so far.
Not at all. I would agree with that. Well, at every game, we have the national anthems for both of the teams taking part. We're going to start today with Ukraine, their national anthem, and then the national anthem of New Zealand. But first, Ukraine. There's the great Ukraine Basketball Federation president, Sasha Volkov. And obviously a very emotional time for him and everybody here from Ukraine. Now for New Zealand. Well, it's now or never for New Zealand, really. I mean, it's do or die. In fact, it's die if they don't do it. They need to win again as well. But they're going to shake hands with Ukraine. Both of these teams always providing some interesting stories in international basketball. The Kiwis, of course, making it to the semifinals of the FIBA World Championship back in 2002. And always a very difficult team to play against. The referees from today from Brazil, Spain, and Cameroon. And the level of consistency overall has been there, we feel like, from the refereeing crews here at the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Ukraine, you've already highlighted Mr. Jeter. Anybody else jump off the roster sheet at you? George?
you know, this is just a true team, and I'm just waiting to see who's gonna step it up today. It can be anybody. We've spoken to the coaches, and they say anybody can be the man for the game. So it'll be interesting to see who steps it up. Here are the starting lineups: Bujari at the guard, Alexander Lipovi at the other guard, Kirill Natyashko making the start at center, Dmitry Zabrichenko at the guard, and Maxim Kornienko at the forward. So no changes there for Coach Mike Fratello from yesterday, of course.
I think we're still waiting for Natyashko to see the best from him, as well as Kornienko, but maybe today is their day. It's almost as if Coach Fratello has, you know, he looked over at Zaitsev in the press conference yesterday and almost said, you know, we're waiting on you. Thanks for showing up at the right time for New Zealand.
We spoke about Kirk Penny, but I want to say about number 7, Mika Vukona. I think he's the inspirational leader of the team. He's the heart and the soul, just gives up so much for his team. He can be a big-time factor there for the toughness and the aggressiveness for the Kiwis. Here's Kirk Penny at the guard, Mika Vukona at forward, Thomas Abercrombie at forward. He can also explode for big-time points. Rob Lowe at center, and Ty Webster at the other guard.
Well, as is the case always with New Zealand, the New Zealand sports teams, we see them perform the Haka. And if you want to see something that's interesting no matter what, check this out. Saw Lindsay Tate having a prominent role there in the middle of that Haka, and also BJ Anthony up front yesterday. They're pretty fired up.
I mean, Tate was the vocal leader. BJ Anthony was just flexing some serious muscle up there. He's a big guy. I mean, he made his presence felt. He had a really good game there against Team USA. Here's the head-to-head between Kirk Penny and Alexander Mishula. Kirk Penny, he just really needs to step it up and be the leader. Look at 23.5% from the three. We know he can shoot it a lot better. Alexander Mishula, just an instrumental player. Made some key shots there in the game yesterday in a big win against Turkey. What a game he had, and it will help the cause for the Ukrainians if we can duplicate his effort from yesterday. No question about that, Jeff.
Absolutely. Of course, the fans, what this is all about, right?
Absolutely. They've been spectacular. I mean, we have enjoyed the atmosphere. It's been a family atmosphere with the 8,000 fans that have came here to Bilbao, and also the fans of the other teams. I think that they have enjoyed the event.
It's been spectacular. Need to make it to Bilbao if you ever get a chance. Bilbao, Spain. This is where Group C has been played. Nenad Vucinic and coaching the New Zealanders. And saw Casey Frank as well. Yes, there's Pedro Cameron. You see, he's one of the assistants. He was one of the great stars of the 2002 team. Of course, Mike Fratello in his 4th year with Ukraine, and it's players like Mishula who have really thrived under his presence. Hello, everybody. It's the 2014 FIBA Basketball World Cup. Here in Bilbao, Spain, New Zealand taking on Ukraine, Group C, and New Zealand in a must-win situation. And as you alluded to, George, Ukraine as well, almost in a must-win situation with their next game coming up against the United States. They don't want to go into that game looking for their 3rd win.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I just wanted to say. Look at Kirk Penny, just right off the gate. This is very important for him and for his team. Penny hits the first shot. He's a shooter, a big-time factor if a shooter hits his first shot.
Penny played in the 2002 team that made it all the way to the semifinals in Indianapolis. Zabrichenko, his role important with Gladier out of the game. Kornienko. And Ty Webster with the rebound.
Nothing there. Good defense by Vukona.
And there you see young Webster get in there, and Vukona followed it up but missed.
I mean, he is so undersized, but he gets just all the rebounds.
Whips it over to Abercrombie. And coming from behind, the foul on Lipovi.
Is Vukona fighting or what?
Yeah,
I mean, he knows this is crunch time. If we spoke about it, this is back to your wall, crunch time, you gotta win situation. Mika Vukona is more than ready.
Well, he was on my all-scrap team before the tournament.
Look at that right here.
To it.
1.98 m, 6'6". I mean, but he's playing like a true 7-footer.
Ty Webster gets in and lays it up off the glass.
And he is an exciting player. You spoke about him as one of the young prospects there for the New Zealand basketball. I mean, he's got a bright future. But Ukrainians better come ready, because it seems that New Zealand has really come out of the gates fired up.
They started well against Turkey and couldn't sustain it. That was in their opener. That's
what I said. The mental lapses just has cost them dearly.
Now Kornienko drives in over to Zaberchenko from the right, and Jasko with the rebound. Now Jeter, he hits the three, so perhaps that'll settle Ukraine down.
That was an important shot, just to calm everybody down and get Ukraine on the board.
You saw Gladier, they're unable to play, but cheering on his teammates.
The same thing as yesterday. He came out to the warm-ups. I mean, he was dressed up. I think he was taped up. He tried to move around, but he just gave it up after 5 minutes. It's a lot of pain. I think he started limping and just decided it's not worth it.
We understand that he probably won't play today or tomorrow, but if Ukraine advance, he would play in Barcelona.
He's a tough competitor, so I'm sure that the medical staff is doing all they can to get him ready to play. He sprained his ankle. So this is, of course, an injury that's for him as a shooter and a guy who just relies heavily on his athleticism. This is a very limiting factor.
Well, Vukona really wears his heart on his sleeve. He gets out and leads by example, and really makes one of two. I also wonder how Corey Webster will play today. He was just so good in the opener against Turkey. Hasn't been able to make the same impact since.
And he's the leading scorer for the team.
Stay real to Jasko. Oh, what a soft touch, but misses.
It was a soft touch, but he went away from the basket. I think that with his size, you would like him to go towards the basket.
Webster on the baseline, backs up Jeter. It's in, puts it up and in, and little post-up action from Ty Webster.
I mean, look at the young fella. He's showing some maturity, because he's head taller than Pooh Jeter. Just took his time and shot right over him. Good job by Webster.
Now Lipovi, guarded by Vukona, and Lipovi, nobody stepped over to help out.
Oh, nothing there. I mean, he just beat Vukona in a one-on-one situation, and no help sign, no coming.
Kenny looking for opening, gets it to Vukona, and then Jeter helped out defensively. Then the good hands from the Jasko.
Jeter, I mean, Vukona, I'm sorry, just got out of control there. He jumped up and was looking for his teammate to pass it to, and that just led to the turnover. Mika Vukona, we said yesterday, until he was 15, he was playing rugby. What a tough guy he is. I mean, he's going to give up his body for the team. Really undersized for his position, but plays big.
Kornienko. He's a player that he's one of the only Ukrainian players that hasn't really gotten into the flow yet, Kornienko. Webster hands it off to Lowe.
How about Ty Webster? I mean, he's scoring, he's passing. What an opening moments he's got to the game. 10-5.
Bob Lowe played college basketball the last 4 years with the St. Louis Billikens. Had a good NCAA tournament first game last year. And there you see Kornienko. Well, finally, there's Sasha Volkov says, finally.
And he was wide open. I mean, I think that Coach Fratello and all the teammates just expect Kornienko to make that shot. He's a good shooter. Let's see if Penny can get back into the game plan. I don't think he has touched the ball after the first shot.
There he is. He's going to have to put it up. Webster, nope. Doesn't get it off in time. Oh, he did get it off in time. Thought he was late. Jeter brings it across midcourt. A good hustle from Vukona. Knocks it out of bounds.
And that's what the coaches of Ukraine has been saying. If we have a chance, we're going to try to run. This was the time when Jeter pushed the ball up. Kordenko was still in the lane, but just could not receive the pass. Good hustle back there by the New Zealanders.
Foul called on Vukona. Oh no, was it Rob Lowe?
Yeah, it's Rob Lowe.
He spotted him from the other side. Zabarchenko gets it to Kornienko. New Zealand had a positive start, but Ukraine have gotten into their rhythm pretty quickly here as well. That's Kornienko. Back to Zabarchenko with 2 on the shot clock. Well short.
A good defense there by New Zealand, but I thought that Ukraine just was not set up offensively. No, everybody was just standing around looking at each other.
Penny, and one pass too many, but gets it back, puts it up, and this is...
you know, this is a shot that he can knock down any time of the day. He just hasn't really found his shooting touch.
Jeter kind of lost control as he went down the lane.
He was plagued there a little bit with turnovers yesterday too, Jeter. I wonder if he's a little bit tired because he's been playing some heavy minutes there for Coach Fratello. 31.5 minutes on average. And Jeff, this is a fourth game in 5 nights. You don't get it on the club level.
Well, it's just like you said, he's going to bring in Mishula, so it'll probably be him. Although we have seen both Jeter and Mishula on the court at the same time. Lindsey Tate has come in. He passes over to Vukona.
Nice touch right there. He didn't rush that shot at all. Just stepped into it, fluid motion, followed through, and a basket. 2 points there.
Well, Tate guarding the ball. He was the one that was doing the single shouts there in the Haka. Kornienko left open again. Good.
I mean, he just faked out Vukona. Vukona completely went for that fake. Good move there by Kornienko. 2 3-pointers. That could be very promising there for the Ukrainians if he gets going.
Well, it's been like that every game for them. Somebody different has stepped up every single game. Penny had the positive start. Vukona gets in, and I think Kornienko got his hand on it.
Kornienko just good 10 centimeters taller.
Good job by Najashko to get rid of it.
That was a good foul. That was a good foul by Tate because there was a 5-on-4 situation. Because Vukona was still lying there underneath the basket. He was trying to get back into the play.
Vukona's going to come out, catch a breather as you see the replay of his jump shot.
Let's see if B.J. Anthony can follow up with another performance like yesterday. He just really provides a lot of muscle. And
Lipovi, nice play. Abercrombie forced him in. He took the jump shot, but boy, I'll tell you, Najashko and Rob Lowe are really going at it. Is that hitting the ball? Let's see what happens here. Seem to be battling down low. Didn't see anything there.
No elbow or anything.
Rostov's going to come in. Now Penny. Oh, that's a big blow for New Zealand.
Absolutely. This is many times it has happened in the tournament that Rob Lowe just moves in the screen. He needs to understand this. I mean, you set the screen as a big guy, and he is a big, long guy. You just need to set yourself and don't move. I think this is exactly what Coach Vucinic is talking to him about. Just stand in the pick. So you cannot do that. He did it yesterday against Team USA. Exact same move. He was called for it. Slava Kravtsov also replacing Natyashko. So let's see if he can establish his low post game.
So Jeter, his pass fumbled, but Ukraine get it back. And that's a bad mistake for New Zealand.
Oh, 2 bad mistakes in a row. And these are the small mental lapses that really troubled New Zealand.
Penny, the one that he made. Oh, that was tapped up and in by Kornienko. But I'm afraid that basket will go to
B.J. Anthony. Yeah, he was
closest man.
Kravtsov, one-on-one situation against Frank. He should explore that. I mean, he's good head taller than Casey Frank.
No, they're actually giving the basket to Kurt Penny. Anyway, Frank, bad pass, and that leads to Mishula. And easy baskets, and now New Zealand suddenly just...
They look deflated.
Yeah.
I mean, all of a sudden, they just don't have anything.
I just wonder if Richard just needs to get a timeout here. Casey Frank. Frank for three.
He hasn't been able to shoot it also as well as I think Coach Woodchange would expect him.
Jeter. And good box out from Frank.
I see some fatigue there with the New Zealand players. I think they just need to start getting as many players in the rotation as possible.
Another mistake. Can you believe it? Just did not catch the ball.
But this is what happens when you're extremely tired. Corey Webster comes on the floor. Isaac Fotu, I think this is what Coach Woodchange is saying. He knows that he has to make a substitution.
There's see the tap from Kornienko. So they did give the basket to Penny, I guess because he took the shot. Strange was he go to the last person that touched it from New Zealand. I thought it was going to be B.J. Anthony. But anyway, the Shula. Kravtsov travels.
Oh, he had a great position there underneath the basket. If he just took a drop step towards the rim, that would have been a two-pointer.
This is where you would expect Corey Webster for New Zealand to just show some leadership and go out and really get going offensively.
Well, he got some fresh legs there with Fotu, Bartlett.
Now Webster's got it. Floats in, and he is whistled for traveling.
That was a tough call right there. I thought he didn't shuffle his feet. But anyway, I can see a lot more motion there and freshness there with the new guys on the floor. I think it's a good move by Coach Woodchange because there was nothing good was happening there in the last minute and a half. He had to make the substitution.
Shula over to Kravtsov, and then he hangs on to the rim for emphasis, and really New Zealand are dead.
Coach Woodchange has seen it now. He's going to timeout. They need to regroup, or this game is slipping away from them.
Liking what they're seeing, but those supporting New Zealand certainly don't. They started well enough, but they just seem to be lacking a little bit. I think they've got tired legs. Look, more offensive rebounds than any other team in the FIBA Basketball World Cup. 49. That's New Zealand.
If you look at the scoring, it just went from 10 and 5 in favor of New Zealand to 19-14 in favor of Ukraine. So you got a 14-4 run there for Ukraine. New Zealand really has to change something, or it's going to be a story like in all the other games. Good, promising moments, but then just replaced with, I don't want to say complete misery, but just mental lapses. I mean, just no concentration.
Well, particularly as you see the fans again with the turnover from Anthony. That was a pass to him near midcourt, and he just didn't catch it, and it went over for a backcourt violation. Gets it to Fotu, much better.
This is good basketball right there. I think it's his experience of Casey Frank. Nice fake, drive, and he drops it off to Fotu. He scores an easy two.
Although Zaitsev didn't look like he was completely ready. Zaitsev, one of the heroes yesterday, is in the game with Mahalia, number 7. He's going to be going to Kansas to play for Bill Self. Now, interception, Bartlett, who's come in. Now, he had some threes yesterday. Should be 19-16. Not 17 to 16. There's Webster and the follow-up from Casey Frank.
And I'll tell you what, Casey Frank just does not give up. I mean, he's the oldest player on the squad, but he just never gives up, stays with the ball, and hustles all the time. Good job there by Casey Frank.
That's the right score, 19 to 18. Ukraine on top of New Zealand, showing signs of life. Well, 7 of 13 inside the arc for New Zealand. Ukraine are the team that has 3 3-pointers, and they're 5 of 8. But Ukraine leading it 19 to 18.
Look how few free throws were taken. Only 2 free throws by New Zealand, 0 by Ukraine. I think it tells me that the players are tired. I mean, it is not easy to play 4 games in 5 nights.
George, it's interesting. We saw the rebounding stat. New Zealand are out-rebounding Ukraine. And New Zealand are not the biggest team here at this tournament.
Well, they are not, but they are nothing like all the other teams have seen because they are undersized and they just don't give up and they move around all over the place. So it's not easy to get ready and to play these guys. This was the last tip in there by Casey Frank. I'll tell you what, I'm looking at the stats also. It was the opening shot by Kurt Bennett that just looked very promising for him and Team New Zealand. But I think it's a good move and a good recognition by Coach Vucic. He has already substituted in 11 out of 12 players. So he clearly understands that he needs to get as many of his players going as possible.
You've raised the issue of fatigue in international basketball tournaments, especially the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Is it always the case that the third, the fourth day, you start feeling it a little?
Oh, if you're not feeling it, Jeff, you're not playing hard enough. I mean, come on. I mean, this is some very competitive games, and you know here in Bilbao, we have seen many nail-biters that went all the way down to the wire. And this was a remark that I wrote down here before the game started. I said, fatigue, injuries, pains, and aches, they will have to be played through. This is crunch time coming up.
Hopefully no crunching of bones. Well, it's the 2014 FIBA Basketball World Cup in Bilbao, Group C. There's 4 groups, and the top 4 teams from each group, after today's games and tomorrow's games are played, will advance to either Barcelona or Madrid for the round of 16. Mashula, boy, he was so open. Just missed a relatively easy shot.
I think he was surprised how open he was because nobody just came to challenge the shot from the big guys of New Zealand. But he is talented. I mean, he can just turn the corner and go directly to the basket.
Bartlett, there's a 3. Everard Bartlett.
They need all the threes they can get. We spoke about it. Very low percentage so far for New Zealand in the tournament.
And we talk about how different people step up for Ukraine. Maybe we're looking for somebody like Bartlett to step up for New Zealand. Mihailiuk wins out, 17-year-old. Now, Lindsay Tate just takes it all the way and missed it. Boy, he had a great look, and he's going to be upset with himself for missing that one. But at least New Zealand keep the ball.
That was a layup. Look at that one more time. Everything opened up. I mean, he was challenged there by, who was it, Kravtsov, who just ran back on defense, or Zaitsev.
Well, Kostosnov is, as Kravtsov goes off, Kostosnov was in as well as Najashko is back. And Webster and Fotu out hustle, so another rebound for New Zealand.
That's the long rebound. I think that Ukraine just really going to have to focus on boxing out. A lot of three-pointers will be taken by the New Zealanders, so there will be a lot of long rebounds.
Casey Frank, nice pass, serve to Bartlett. Oh, looked off the pass and puts it up and draws the foul. Good call. Kostosnov definitely with the push.
What about Bartlett? He's making some things happen here early on.
Well, you remember yesterday against the United States, he came out and popped a couple of early three-pointers, didn't he?
True, but I mean, there was absolutely no pressure there on New Zealand. We spoke about it during the game. I thought that the players were completely loose, and a lot of them just did things that we haven't seen from them before.
But Bartlett, you can definitely nail. He's got that perimeter game, and
he's getting 11 minutes a game here in the tournament in the first 3 games.
And as everybody knows Penny's a three-point shooter, but maybe Bartlett doesn't have quite that same name.
And he's also a lefty. So don't forget that on the drive. I think it gives him a slight advantage there.
Over to the Shula. Now down to K-Real and Yasko. Casey Frank is able to knock it in the hands of Bartlett.
Seems pretty comfortable out there in the open floor and in the half court. Tate back to Frank. Oh boy, what a pickup by Webster. What a tough pass to catch.
I mean, did he just stick in his hands or what?
And that's going to force Ukraine now. Remember the score? It was 19-18.
Yeah, exactly.
So
8-0 run.
Great start to the second quarter for New Zealand. So Tall Blacks fans breathing a little bit easier up there behind us. No hyperventilating.
Look at the rebounds. I mean, the way that New Zealand is dominating the boards is incredible. 14-6. Ukraine's got only one offensive rebound. On the other side, 6 for New Zealand.
Good. Often with New Zealand, you're not going to see them blown out. They're not going to blow anybody up. Games are going to be close. And really the same has to be said for Ukraine. I'm not sure they have the type of team that will just run away from They've got an average of 17 turnovers per game in the first 3 games, which isn't good. What would you say is a good total? Well, 10, 11.
I would say
0 is ideal, obviously.
I mean, I would say 12. I mean, the competition is high. I would say that the coach is going to accept about 12.
It was hilarious last night. In the press conference after the game, the Dominican Republic won a huge game against Finland. And Coach Orlando Antigua, as you see Corey Webster there, Antigua came in to the press conference, sat down, was very laid back and loose, and looked at it and said, 25 turnovers? How did we win this game? I don't believe it. And then he looked at the free throw shooting as well, and that was pretty poor. So I suppose you can turn it over and still survive. In most cases, you need to take good care of the ball. Oh, good active hands. Najasko gets it back outside. Zaitsev guarded by Fotu. Now Najasko passes back out to Zabrachenko.
Nice pass out, but I'm sorry. I think that Najasko, he was 2 feet or half a meter away from the basket. I think just he needs to finish that with a right-handed jump hook.
Lacona at the line. A little bit of momentum shift here. Oh, good hustle from Fotu. And Ukraine come up with it. And then Tate has to burn a foul.
That was a good foul to stop the fast break. You got Boo Jitter coming down with such a speed. You know that's trouble. I look at Isaac Fotu, I like that, because he hasn't been playing so much in the tournament, and I think he's showing a lot of heart here today.
Are you surprised they would take Lindsay Tate out?
I think he's just going to keep rotating the guards very quickly. I think he's going to be coming back in 3-4 minutes.
Well, Webster's certainly got the energy, the athleticism, and showed some savvy in the first quarter when he was in there. Just off and off over to Yasko. K-Real. And
again, he's going away from the defense. You saw that, Jeff.
He's to attack the basket. Go to the rim.
What is his size?
Bartlett.
Good shot. He was close to making it.
Jetter shakes and bakes out of the perimeter. And missed the reverse layup. Lacona with the rebound.
I thought he didn't have the legs there at the end. Just didn't have the same explosiveness like he usually does.
Corey Webster. Where's Corey Webster? That's overpassing. He had 3 Ukrainians around him trying to make the passing side of the corner. Zabrachenko hands it off to Jetter in the corner, guarded by Webster. Jetter gets right past him. Gustafsson off now. Into Jasko. And this time he will go up, and he must have heard you, but he still missed.
That's a difficult moments there for Najasko.
And Jetter just reached in and took that ball away from Corey Webster. Now Jetter for 3. Now Bartlett.
Oh man, this is really up and down. A lot of mistakes on both sides. Everybody needs to calm down. Ukraine and New Zealand. too many mistakes in a game that is so crucial like it is today.
I would like to see Bartlett get another opportunity.
They're just going to set up some kind of an offense.
Fotu, he can shoot it for 3. Good. Nope, that was a 2.
If you give him space like that Jashko did, and he had time to look at the basket, I mean, he can be deadly.
He plays for Hawaii, University of Hawaii Rainbows, the Rainbow Warriors. It's not a bad place to go to the university, is it? Jasko right at the line.
I mean, he is showing some character. I mean, he just made 2-3 mistakes in a row, had some tough misses there on the basket, and he pulls up that free throw shot.
He says he stays in touch with Coach Fratello throughout the year, just to checks up on him, gives him encouragement, tells him how things are going. He's a really focused.
Oh, he's a prospect. I mean, Jashko is a big prospect.
Fotu again.
Almost same spot, but from a 3, half a meter farther.
Zaitsev decides to bring it up the floor. Zapachenko. Zaitsev with the left hand. Fotu just kind of let him get into a good position. He just didn't score. Webster puts up a tough shot. Draws the foul from Zapachenko, I believe.
And this is so difficult if Webster takes it down in open court. It's Pustos Vonov who made a foul.
So it was Pustos Vonov.
This was Fotu for 2. He makes this one. You cannot leave him open like that. I think that Zabi.
Why do you see we haven't seen Thomas Abercrombie, these New Zealand fans? Is he one of those who was perhaps guilty of showing a lack of energy?
I think it's just the fact that this is the 4th game in 5 days, and I think he received some heavy minutes there in the previous games. I think we're going to see plenty of him in the second half. Don't worry about that. I think he's clearly in the rotation.
Right now, Vucinic is going with his gut feel. This team seems to be...
And he's going with a very mobile lineup there. I mean, you got Vukona at 4 and Fotu at 5 and 3 very quick guards.
He's back in the game on Lipovi. Gets it back from Jasko for the shot clock. And Lipovi just grabs in, hands it back off to Jasko, and that was great work.
This is where they need him. He needs to be a factor around the basket. Look at his size. I mean, he should be dominating there. And I was going to say it's too bad for Ukraine that they are not able to explore the size advantage under the basket.
Lipovi is an interesting player, isn't he? Penny from the right.
Long rebound again, Jeff.
Yes, it was. Maybe that's why the rebounding totals are so high, as they get a lot of those.
23 to 9.
That's incredible, really. 23 to 9. Vukona. Flat. Gets it back. Has it blocked with a foul on Kornienko.
That's an offensive rebound number 11. He haven't finished the first half. I think that Coach Fratello is just going to really have to speak up to the players and take care of business on the glass.
Now, Vukona, what is he asking for? I don't know. But Kornienko was called for a foul. He wasn't happy.
You've seen a happy player when the foul is called on him?
Never, not once. So why do I say it? You're right. I'll stop saying that. But
this is fatigue, though. This is 2 times Mika Vukona has missed a short from the free throw. Now he's missing the free throw at them short. I think you can see fatigue here. Clearly, this is a factor now.
It's a marathon. Jasko protects the rim, looks back to the line to see how close he came to stepping over. Oh, Cheddar, did he do that by design and get it back? Looked like he may have lost it. Lipovi, now he fumbles it away. And again,
twice in a row, the ball just slipped out of his hands.
Maybe we should send some talcum powder down to the bench for Coach Fratello and his assistant Bob Hill to give to the players. Look at this. Just lost it.
No pressure, really.
Did that ever happen to you? Sweaty hands?
Are you trying to say that I never sweat when I was playing basketball?
Well, Whenever players make the mistake, it seems like they look at their hands like that's why they made the mistake. Like it's not really. Anyway, Ty Webster. Now he's lost the handle.
Same thing.
And now Jetter's lost it again. Now who's going to lose it? Then he goes up and makes the jumper.
Great basket there for a chase. 3 turnovers in quick succession. Kirk Benny makes a shot.
Now, in answer to my question, where's Thomas Abercrombie? There he is, number 10. See him getting up? Zaitsev for 3. Good!
Oh, they just dropped it right there. And I think Isaac Fotu just needs to understand that he's going to have to get out and guard him there around the three-point lane. He's got the speed. I mean, he can guard him.
Korniuko and Zaitsev hitting those threes. Just a needless turnover for Webster. Fotu commits the foul. That's number 2 of New Zealand. So good foul from him. And he's getting some instruction from Pedro Cameron. What is he telling him, the former tall black?
Well, I think he was speaking about getting out on the shot there. This is what I think he was pointing to a three-point line that he has to get out there on Zaitsev.
Jeter just kind of loses his footing, but he is tripped. So that's why he stumbled. Webster helps him up. Ty Webster. He was guilty of the foul. Boy, it's evenly poised right now, isn't it?
I mean, it seemed that New Zealand was just really taking command of the game.
They just haven't been able to get that separation, have they? When they won't. Ty Webster comes out frustrated.
There he goes. I mean, he's the highest scorer with 6 points right now, and he just felt that the game was going his way, but made a mental mistake, and Coach Vucinic sits him down to think about it. And he is not happy. He's throwing down the towel.
Is he unhappy at coming out, or is he just frustrated that he didn't make the play?
The combination of both. I mean, he's not happy. He's a young player. He wants to stay on the floor. These young players, I mean, if you played it for 39 minutes, they're upset that they didn't play it in one minute that they sat on the bench. Big competitors. I think he's got a big heart. I mean, he just really gives a lot of it on the floor.
Jeter makes 1 of 2. No player has more heart than Jeter, that's for sure. Unless it's Mika Fakona. He's probably unrivaled in that respect. All right, here's Penny. Out to Fotu. Oh, beautiful release for a big fella, isn't it?
And that's a great ball movement. I mean, if you keep moving, it is so difficult for defense to cover everybody. Because all the players are interchangeable. Everybody can shoot now. Got 5 shooters there on the floor for New Zealand. And also you get a 12th man, Gerard Kenny. So all the players from New Zealand have stepped on the floor in the first half of the game.
Jeter, he had nowhere to go. That's a charge.
Good call.
Jeter has not looked as comfortable, as fluid today.
I would say
in his tiredness.
I would say as explosive, Jeff. I think that he just does not have the same speed and explosiveness like he had in the first couple of days. I thought even yesterday he was a little bit tired.
Oh boy, he really rolled into the defender there. Now watch Fotu's touch.
That's what he does. I mean, he just roams the perimeter. So if you got Natashko, you cannot be overhelping. You cannot.
But we got some real potential in this New Zealand team, don't we?
Well, if they had a big guy to play around the basket, that would be a really tough team to beat.
Well, they do. He's just not here. There's a couple. Alex Pledger. He's one. He was injured. And Steve Adams. Fotu puts it up again.
Wow. I mean, he's really shooting.
36. So they're finishing a half strong here.
Well, same motion. He sizes up, steps off his defender, makes a nice 2-pointer. Long one. Almost a 3-pointer.
Fotu is the leading scorer now with 8 points. Over to Zaitsev. Speaking of big guys that can shoot it, but he gives it back to Jeter. And it looks like a foul has been called on Zaitsev for using his...
I thought it was on Fotu.
I did too. And look at Volkov. He can barely watch.
I mean, he was in disbelief.
He realizes the margin for error for Ukraine is not that great. He doesn't want to see them lose the plot at the end of the first half.
I think he feels they're playing with fire.
Can you tell me what happens here?
He extended the elbow. He did. I mean, he put up the elbow a little bit high.
Timeout on the floor, George.
Normal possession of Eldown. Baker, you got the ball. Okay?
Coach Vucinic just wants to finish up strong. I mean, they have 6 points. He just doesn't want any kind of mistake, meaning no easy three, no easy two. Or just keep strong defense and score now in the possession. There's 32 seconds to go. So for New Zealand, shooting the ball, there's going to be a difference. There's going to be a shot for Ukraine. So I'm sure he's setting up the play and then talking about a solid defense. You know about the momentum change. We've spoken about it so many times. You don't want to go to the locker room when the other team makes a nice spectacular play and feel good about themselves.
Things got to help. This ball's coming off. Okay? This 4-man.
Put up a lot of but Fotu has kind of emerged here as a story. And, you know, maybe it's a little unfair to put so much on Penny for being the go-to man for New Zealand. He's been around for a long time, but let's don't forget, he's about 32, 33 years old. Other guys have to emerge.
And he's well scouted. I mean, anybody who's scouting New Zealand, they are focusing on Kirk Penny. It's clear.
It's the one thing that you couldn't help but notice in all their box scores in the build-up to the tournament.
Or the comments. I mean, if you talk to Gorshevsky, he said, oh, Kirk Penny is a great shooter. We got to stop him. Today I talked to Ukraine and said, Kirk Penny, we got to stop him.
Well, right now, Fotu is leading candidate for New Zealand's MVP if they can hold on to win, but
another offensive foul right there.
And not only that, looks like it's on Kona.
And now Coach Vucinic cannot believe this one. This is the push-off. I mean, anytime the big guys use their elbows to push off the defender, the referees are calling it, and I have to say that they are being consistent. Same on both sides. Exact same foul.
Well, now another timeout. So with 22.4 seconds left, Ukraine should have the last shot. Don't be surprised to see Mr. Mishulicek in, but so far no move to get him in the game.
Okay, we want the last shot. The last shot we want. Okay, going down.
That's amazing. So they made 85 two-pointers, 85 three-pointers in the first 3 games. That's what you call balance. Inside, outside. I'm not sure about that. That's
That's an interesting stat. We were speaking about it here before the game, and it's quite mind-boggling there.
Let's go with the show on Jeddah, okay? Show and then switch the bigs.
But it is, I would say it's clear because we saw it in the first quarter when things just really didn't go well.
Over the screen, so it's almost like a little double.
Started substituting everybody. I mean, he has involved all 12 players, so I mean, the stats just tells the story.
I think we're just going to have to forget that 85. That can't be right. Look at that.
Long way from home, huh?
Yeah, but they look happy.
Wouldn't you be happy in Bilbao? I mean, they have 10 degrees or 15 degrees in rating. I spoke to the fans of New Zealand.
Hey, trust me, I backpacked to New Zealand. There's no better place to go in the world. But right now, you want to be in Bilbao.
The weather has been spectacular here, too. Besides basketball, of course.
Here comes Pujetter in Ukraine, down 6. Jared Kinney in the game guarding Pujetter. And they can't foul New Zealand because they'll put him on the line. Lipovi gets in, puts up a tough turnaround, puts up an air ball. And Penny, not enough time. So the teams go to the changing rooms. And New Zealand leading 36-30. I can tell you out of this screen, Mr. Fratello is voicing a little bit of frustration with Mr. Jeter.
Yeah, I mean,
last possession.
I think the play just wasn't run as it was supposed to. Just looking at the stats quickly, the Ukraine is shooting the ball a little bit better. 45% from the three. It's very good. They're 5 for 11. Free throws not much taken, but low percentage.
Look at the rebounds, though.
That's the story of the game right there. And
that's amazing. Stop the press. But somebody go put your ear outside the door of the Ukraine locker room. Fratello will not be happy.
No, they're going to talk about it. He's absolutely right. New Zealand again, careless with the ball. So 12 turnovers. They have 6, but they could be up a lot more.
Fotu with that terrific second quarter has 8 points and 6 rebounds. Kornienko had the good start, and we saw flashes from Lajasko. But it's New Zealand, the most important stat on the board with 36 points, 30 for Ukraine. Stick around for second half action. came here hoping for a first win, and right now the Tall Blacks have put themselves in excellent position here in Group C with a 36-30 lead at halftime over Ukraine. New Zealand lost 3 games, including most recently against the United States, but if they can win their last 2 games, including today, you know, they have a very good chance of moving on to the round of 16. As for Ukraine, well, you know, they want to get that 3rd win to punch their ticket to the round of 16. George, what does New Zealand need to do?
Well, I think they are doing an excellent job in the first half, and if they just keep moving the ball as well as they were able to, just it doesn't stick in anybody's hand, and hit some shots like they've been doing. They shoot 52% from the 2, and the complete field goal percentage is 47. I think they have an excellent chance to win this game, to get that first victory here in Bilbao.
What is wrong with Ukraine?
Well, I think they just look a little bit tired, and I think that their biggest problem is there has not been any presence established with the big guys. And I'm talking on offense and defense. Offensively, they have not been able to score back to the basket. We have not seen anything from Kravtsov or Natyashko. Defensively, they are getting out-rebounded by a huge margin, so no presence with the big guys there as well. So they need to establish presence with that big guy. Otherwise, I think it's going to
Tommy, just stick in here. Don't go too fast.
Before the game,
So, you know, he's in the danger of getting a steal. Okay? So we got time here. We got Mecca there. Okay, look for that. Look for the next door. Probably open here. Look for the shot as well.
Tommy, just circle back out there.
Yeah, and Ty, you get out of the way. Sorry, you get out of the way this way. Right?
making some shots, but
Defend the basket. Defend the basket. Make the commitment to your teammates right now. Okay, we're going to do a better job in this half. We come down, run a sideline, see if we get some movement, get something off that. Okay?
I think it's just a wider rotation there for both Vukovic and the New Zealand squad.
Now, one thing that we were spot on with before the tournament was that Group C was going to be wide open. Okay, the USA far and away the best team. But after that, dogfight. And it's going to be like that, isn't it?
Oh, we know it. I mean, we've seen it. We did the calculations. It could happen that we could have USA with 5-0 record and 5 teams with 2-3 record.
We know Ukraine can come back from a difficult first half. They were knotted in their opener.
Well, they will not give up. They will not give up. This is a true team.
They had that 14-0 run against the Dominican Republic at the start of the second half. But they had Sergei Gladier. Now he's injured.
I don't think that makes a difference. This is a true team, but same goes for New Zealand. Even if they go down, they will not give up. I think that we're just going to see a game for 40 minutes.
Well, second half underway. New Zealand in white. The Tall Blacks attacking the basket to the left. Ukraine in the blue. And an offensive foul. And Rob Lowe has got to be more mature out there.
The foul was on Abercrombie.
Oh, it was, okay. Because the expression from Lowe.
No, that was an expression of
No, you're right.
disbelief.
Second on Abercrombie. Now he's going at it with Lipovic. They know that Ukraine are going to come out all guns blazing. Just like the first half, Kornienko.
What a mature shot right there. Fake. He just fakes out his defender, takes a dribble, and nails that one down. And I'll tell you what, I mean, Thomas Abercrombie, you got to watch it. Anytime you extend your elbow, it's going to be an offensive foul. He's going to watch it. He's been called like that for 3 times in the game in the first half.
Nice find from Capona. And good job from Penny to get in there.
Such an unselfish player there, Mika Vukona. I mean, he just looks for his defender, for his teammates. And a good cut there by Kirk Penny, of course.
You can see quite clearly, especially with Ukraine, they want to up the pressure defensively. And Kornienko has become their go-to man.
And he's heating up. I mean, they just really focused on him, clamped down. Mika Vukona's got to do a better job right there.
How long will it be before we see Fotu come back in? Abercrombie.
Webster stepped in there to prevent the fast break.
Caught on Webster. He was trying to fight through that screen.
He did, but then Puchetter just took a step through him, initiated a contact, and the foul was called. Puchetter is fast. I mean, Ty Webster's got some size advantage on him, but if he plays him tight, I think that the speed goes to Jeter. He is so explosive.
Watch Kornienko, Majasko now. Kornienko hands it off to Lipovic. And boy, Abercrombie read that pass beautifully.
Oh, he's got very long arms. Very active hands as well.
Boy, wouldn't New Zealand like Lowe to pop a three-pointer? Instead, it's going to be Webster. And Lowe keeps it alive.
That could be hustled by Rob Lowe.
Webster comes up with it. Now, Zaperchenko over to Kornienko for the third time. He has scored here. There's Cheddar's father.
This is good basketball there by Ukraine. They just got the rebound, pushed the ball out the court. It was a 2-on-1 situation. Nicely solved. 2 points for Kornienko.
Bounce pass. Oh, beautiful find. Oh, I thought he was open there. Dakota takes it back out to Penny. Trap.
Before the shot was taken, foul by Zaperchenko.
Okay, Zaperchenko. He's a tough piece to move.
And a good foul because Kirk Penny was past him. That was an open shot for him. This was the pass.
That was the third basket in the third quarter for Kornienko.
Oh, he's got 14 points at the moment. What a game for him.
And now Zaperchenko picks up another one, a quick one.
Yeah, but he's got a very tough assignment. I mean, defensively, he's against Kirk Penny. We speak about Kirk Penny all the time, but I think this is a danger of a great scorer like Kirk Penny. We just don't want him to get going. Once he gets going, it's almost impossible to stop him. And I think it goes like that for any scorer. You just don't want to get him hot.
Dakota just uses his body. He's able to get rid of it. Crazy shot. So Ukraine getting right back into this stage.
That's a huge mismatch under the basket. Abercrombie's got an attachment. Now they switch back. They should have exploited that.
Cheddar. Fighting each other for the rebound. Webster is able.
No, it's travel. I mean, he lost control of the ball.
He was trying to get down there for an easy basket.
And I think he did. I mean, he split the defenders, but it was just too much. I mean, he was going at 120 miles an hour. Boy, he didn't need that shot right there, I mean, to make a basket. That might have been a bomb by Zaperchenko, but still. I think that Webster just picked up the ball too early, Jeff.
Zaperchenko's being a pest out there on defense. There's no doubt about that. Zaperchenko launches a three. A long rebound this time goes to Jeter.
We get a ball game, 38-38. It's down all over. Oh yeah, you say Zaperchenko plays really tough, and this is what the assistant coaches said. Our guys know that they come on the floor for 4, 5, 6 minutes, so they play their best. 100% effort.
Now Rob Lowe for three. Good hustle from Dakota, laying out on the floor. Just
I mean, he was almost crawling right there to get that ball, to get his hand on it.
100% effort from him. They need it right now. They are wobbling. Dakota hands it to Lowe. Lowe is really struggling offensively.
There was no lift right there. I mean, when you saw the jumper, I mean, he just could not get any lift from his legs. I think this is just fatigue there from Rob Lowe.
Well, he's the huge talent, both literally and figuratively for New Zealand, but Rob Lowe's just struggled some today with his shot.
That was the last two-pointer scored after the offensive rebound or the bounce to Jeter. That's what you call being in the right spot at the right moment. The ball just bounces away.
Now, Kornienko, he's basically just taking over the game.
Well, I think he's feeling it. I mean, he's got 14 points, and I saw a lot of confidence right there on the drive. I mean, he's got a lot bigger player against him with Dakota, who can also move his feet. And I mean, he just took it fearlessly at it. Look at that pick and roll. He gets an angle, he gets going, he just takes the counter. This is what you would like to see from Rob Lowe. I'm sorry, this is exactly the stuff that Rob Lowe should do. Just go and initiate a contact.
Kornienko, like Rob Lowe, likes to step outside and hit the three as well.
And he's a very lanky guy. I mean, he doesn't have much muscle on his body, but I mean, he just goes at the defender. This is the difference.
challenge, just 1 of 2. Capello with his glasses on the edge of his nose like a professor watching the game here. And you've got Penny up top, floats in, and gets the shooter's bounce.
So the lead swings back to New Zealand.
Now look, Penny's the leading scorer here for his team with 9 points.
And Jeff, I'll be looking for Slava Kravtsov now, the number 15 for Ukraine. If he can really do something in the post against Casey Frank, that's a mismatch right there. They gotta look for him.
Jeter. Okay. That was Vakona's hit just to keep it out of the danger area.
I mean, is he an animal? I mean, he's all over the place. I mean, maybe he got inspired last night with Kenneth Farid.
Yeah. Animal.
Look at it right here. Just swats it away.
I knew Kravtsov was right there lurking behind him. Zealand back on top with a 1-point lead. Nickelby. Kravtsov. This man gets some space, gets blocked by Casey Frank.
I mean, that was a good move by Slava Kravtsov. I think he really has to take advantage of that. He's being guarded by Casey Frank. It's a power forward at best. I think he's between 3 and 4 position, and Slava Kravtsov is a true center.
Nickelby gets in against Frank, and Abercrombie goes up for a terrific rebound.
Well, he can rebound with the best of them. We have seen him in the tournament just go up and get the boards.
Nice quick pass. And Frank goes in. Tries to do a little bit too much.
Oh, that was just a risky pass. That was costly. I mean, he was not in a bad position just to shoot the ball right back up. He went for the spectacular play, but it didn't work this time. That's a 3rd foul for Abercrombie, and he hasn't scored a point in the game. He's still waiting for his first points.
Saw the look on Vucevic's eyes. Frustration. Backs up Frank. Now Jeter at the line, puts it up. And Vakona gets up. They're going to have to dry up the court where Vakona fell.
And again, the same situation. That long rebound just bounces to the hands of Jeter, who's able to take that Kravtsov. That was not a bad take there, 101. Jeter in the right place at the right time. Just makes a simple free throw line jumper. Vakona just lost it all over the place.
They still have to put the points on the board yet for Ukraine.
Yeah, it's 40 to 41 for sure.
For some reason, it seems to be like a delay. Penny puts it up. That's a 3. Now they're saying it's 5. They haven't added Ukraine's last points. Now,
nobody's saying anything about it.
And the Ukraine bench is saying something about it. Now they've added it. Tyler Webster gets in, and
he's just a shot for his tire. I think he's just, look at the grimace he's got right now. I mean, he's playing through some pain. I mean, I must admit, I just see the play because we're looking at the scorers table. They were going to add the 2 points right there, but so you can't see the replay there later on.
But we do have the score ready. Ukraine took the lead, but now New Zealand have hit right back. They could have quite easily lost the plot there, but New Zealand have come back and made a few plays. You see the quarter-by-quarter scoring. Ukraine just edging it in this quarter, but New Zealand back on top by 4.
This was the last play. Oh yeah, I think he just landed there on Slava Kravtsov. Got him to make it a shot, yep. Oh, the young fella is tough. He's gonna play through it.
You know, Kravtsov had a serious hand injury last season, and a lot of people haven't talked about this, but when he showed up at training camp, he was still being bothered by it. Coach Fratello was talking about it yesterday in the press conference, saying how people don't realize what he's had to overcome to be an effective. So you got to put some of his performances maybe in the context. He's still coming back.
I know, but this is just too much. I mean, too much of a mismatch right there against Casey Frank, who's only a little bit over 2 meters, and Slava Kravtsov, good, solid 2 meters 10. I think if the spacing is right, he should be able to take advantage.
Kornienko gets in, now Kravtsov.
This is what I was calling for. Slava Kravtsov is establishing his presence there on the basket for Ukrainians.
In other words, you don't want to hear any excuses.
Well, that was some tough defense there by
Lippovy, I think, was holding Penny, and it didn't go unnoticed by the referee.
It's right under the basket. Referees were standing really close by. You see that how all the time that Dirk Penny is so guarded so closely.
Oh, looks it off now, gets it to Frank. Pump fake, and almost a chance for an N1.
That was a heads-up play there by Casey Frank. I mean, that was a nice fake. Look at that one more time. Nice drop pass right there. Slava Kravtsov just goes for it. He tries to avoid contact, but Casey Frank goes right into it. He drew the contact right there.
Well, it was good penetration for Penny, the no-look pass. Lippovy still ended up reading it, but just reacted a little bit too late.
Yep.
Just goes to show that pump fake's pretty nice little weapon, isn't it? Second one is good as well, so Casey Frank. Fotu was giving some full court pressure now. He drops back. It's Fotu that has to guard Kornienko. Zaitsev will also come in for the next opportunity for Ukraine. Now Kornienko backing up a little bit for this match on Webster. Webster gets the rebound now. Darts up the floor. Passes to Bartlett for three. Go!
Whoa! Look at that. I mean, they finished the fast break with a three-pointer. That is a risky shot in my department. They could have gone to the basket, but okay, it works this time. A big basket for New Zealand.
Well, they're a three-point shooting team, much like Ukraine. Jeter. Who's Jeter? Over to Kornienko. Now Kravtsov. He goes up against the youngster and loses the ball.
Just waited too long.
Quickly up to Frank. Back to Bartlett for three. Go! Back-to-back three-pointers.
What a sequence there by Bartlett. Incredible 2 shots. And look at a 10-point lead, double digits for New Zealand.
And
that's biggest of the game.
11 points for Bartlett. How about that for a nice little spark coming from the bench?
Yeah, 26 points for the bench scoring for New Zealand.
Mishula puts up an air ball. Oh, that wasn't the Mishula that we watched yesterday.
Oh, no.
He hasn't been allowed to come in and really get in the flow, though, has he?
Look at that one more time right here. Put a heads-up play by Casey Frank. He didn't try to do anything spectacular anyway before. And an open three-pointer there for Bartlett. Again on the fast break. So 2 fast break three-pointers for New Zealand.
It's interesting that you were pointing that out the previous time. You know that New Zealand want to take those threes. Bartlett. This would do Casey Frank. Over to Fotu. He faces the double. This is to Penny. Does just get it off in time, but great defense from Ukraine.
Oh, they were all over the place. Also, I thought that Dirk Penny was almost triple teamed there before the shot.
Jeter goes right at Frank. Oh, what a play from Jeter.
Nothing to do right there. He's just too fast, too strong. He composed himself and went out for the ball.
Final 30 seconds here of the third quarter, and New Zealand landed some blows that have given them a great chance here in this game. Webster spins, and Jeter, the experience, just takes it right away from him.
That was a tough play for Ty Webster.
Oh, Jetter's taking over now. He puts it up, and He misses. 2 seconds on the shot clock. One. Penny's got to launch it. He does get it off. Now, Penny and the New Zealand bench saying that Penny was fouled as he attempted that shot. That would have been 3 free throws if they called it. But as it is, it's 53-45 New Zealand. George, as you look at the stats, you were going to make a point there. What was it?
Well, I was looking at the bench scoring points after 2 3-pointers by Bartlett. It's 26 points and a really big contribution there for the New Zealand bench, so that's a huge difference there. They've been able to step up and get in the flow of the game. That's a big edge there for New Zealand. I'm looking still at the rebounds. It's 34-20 in favor of New Zealand, so still a big-time edge there for the Kiwis. A little bit more turnovers there for New Zealand. They committed 5 more. So I think, to me, in the 4th quarter, New Zealand just needs to stay sharp. They are really turnover prone.
Well, Ukraine made their run. They got back. They took the lead, and then New Zealand raced back in front. And just to set the table, you've got USA and Korea in the group. Now, the expectation is that they're going to go ahead and win this thing. The Dominicans play them tonight. If they lose to the USA, they'll be 2-2. If Ukraine lose this game, they'll be 2-2. Finland are 1-2 right now. If they win their game, they would be 2-2. I mean, Turkey could end up winning and being 2-2. So New Zealand, very likely, if they win tonight, they'll be 1-3. Tomorrow, at the end of the day, you can have a bunch of teams with the same record.
New Zealand is fighting to live another day, Jeff. This is the expression. They get a win to stay alive. That's what we said before. I think looking at their faces, they just really feel the chance right now. Mika Vukona is just talking to his teammates, just firing them out, staying on the bench, but I'm sure he's got their backs. I like Casey Frank. I mean, he's done some good things for his team. Isaac Fotu hasn't shot the ball as he has in the first half, but he's back on the floor, so maybe he's going to get some outside shooting going there in the last quarter. It's essential for Ukraine to start well this 4th quarter.
Well, we've seen the Kiwis in front. They should have beaten Turkey. They took the foot off the pedal. We'll see if they can maintain their concentration. And don't forget their late collapse against Turkey happened like in the last 3.5 minutes. So they've got to let it go all the way here.
Exactly. We said it before. You have to play 40 minutes.
Penny leans into that 3. That was a quick one.
And he was very closely guarded by Zabichenko. No question about that. They all over him.
Shula passes back outside to Zeit. Zabichenko. Zaitsev goes straight at Fotu. And he travels.
He shuffled his foot right there. He changed his pivot foot. Just slightly moved it.
I love how Fratello questions the ball. He asks just to put the seed of doubt in the referee's mind.
That's experience right there.
He doesn't lose his temper. Corey Webster in the game. Oh, hands almost come up with it for Zaitsev. Fotu went in. Took an interesting shot. Oh, Cardinals in. Never put it back underneath the opponent's basket. And Fotu almost gets to the line. Liberty maybe would have been better off just letting that go out.
I mean, look at Casey Frank. I mean, he lost his headband. He looked like a madman possessed there with that hair. He's giving a lot of. He's giving a huge lift right there.
You may not want to look at this, folks. This could be quite scary. Look at that.
What an unselfish play by him. A tough foul by Slava Kravtsov, but really you have to give it up for the big men of New Zealand. I mean, they are taking some hits underneath the basket against bigger guys of Ukraine.
In her suit.
But clearly it was a tough foul because Fotu just misses the first one. It's a good foul there by Slava Kravtsov. Great foul.
They talk about the rebounding edge. Well, if that was the message at halftime, Casey Frank wants to hear nothing about it. New Zealand continuing to stay on top in the rebounds.
36 years of age, Casey Frank. Just playing big today.
And Penny steps out of bounds.
But do you see how they pester him there just immediately in his face? I mean, unbelievable defense there by Zabenchenko. He just stays with it. Really good to him.
Right now, speaking of the rebounds, though, it is 37 rebounds for New Zealand, 21 for Ukraine. Zabenchenko gets his cross-off. He ran into Casey Frank.
That wasn't a bad pass. It was a nice lob.
Nice dribbling by Bartlett. Webster left open. Go!
That's a big three-pointer right there. It's back to double-digit lead. 11 points for New Zealand, 56-45.
And yes, folks, the New Zealanders are smiling.
And they are finishing fast break with three-pointers. That's the third time they finished the fast break with a three-pointer in the second half.
7 of 17 from three-point range, the Tall Blacks. Ukraine aren't done.
Long way to go. Here's the look at Webster's three. Penny picks up the foul, meanwhile, at the other end. You see look at the joy on the New Zealand bench. And Frank battles, and he needs to be careful that he doesn't try to show up the referee too much.
I mean, he's been really mixing it up, so he doesn't really want to lose his score. That could cost them dearly.
Watch this.
He's fighting hard, there's no question about it. I mean, he's a smaller guy. He doesn't give up the position easy. He goes around. This is all the coaches ask you. If you're a smaller guy, just don't allow the big center to get a position. Just go around and fight, do anything. Go from the side, full front him, anything. Just don't settle for the position.
Okay, so Ukraine trailing by 11. 7:45 remaining. 2 jetter time. He misses
that was
that he should make.
Easy one to make. Nobody challenged him.
Oh, what a pass. Fotu now. Kornienko, wow.
That's a clinic. That's a big man's clinic right there. He was patient. He didn't rush anything. He just backed him in, felt him, made a nice turn. Money move.
Zaitsev, offensive foul called on Zaitsev.
That's Casey Frank factor. Jeff, I'm telling you, he is huge. He's given, statistically, he is not scoring points, but he is doing so many things there that you don't see on the stat sheet. Hey, but there's one thing. Oh, you see that he had a position. He gave up his body. This is team play. This is a true team play. He's fired up. Sasha Volkov as the president of the Ukrainian Basketball Federation, he is now fired up.
We're going to black and white now. Black and white now. You have to shoot the ball. Guys are giving possessions away now. You can't afford to give possessions away. And then you don't run back.
Okay, behind you roll. Okay, Casey, you go.
I wish I could.
Get it back to Casey, look inside. Okay, now, if it's not really safe, okay, get Kirk coming out of the corner for the handle. Right? First one, we go to a spin. Defensively, you go Jenna. Okay, stay down on the ground. Okay, close to him. It penetrates. Make sure help is there. Right? Make sure help is there. With the ball
in today's game, that's why they are ahead. Plus, they are fighting their hearts out. They are doing it with a set of backup big men. Isaac, Fotu.
Fotu's been a lot more effective when he's been on the floor.
I mean, Fotu Frank, what a duo.
And Frank has been terrific. And it's nothing against Vakona because he's a warrior.
And he's happy on the bench. Come on, I mean, he's 100% behind the team. He doesn't care one bit about his individual stats. Look at him, he's standing up, he's talking to the coaches. He's happy.
What about the fast break points for New Zealand? And some of those fast break points are coming from three-point range.
Very unorthodox. Very unorthodox to finish the fast break with a three-pointer. I've seen it 3 times in the second half. I think the things are really rolling New Zealand's way, but we got 7 minutes to go.
Well, it's important time for Ukraine. Remember, foul called on Ukraine. Is that Zabenchenko? Vucinic.
This is clearly a gut check down there for Ukraine. They gotta step it up. I mean, if they win today, they are in Barcelona. This is a huge game for them.
Yeah, they were trying to get the half-court trap there. I think New Zealand must have been ready for it. But don't be surprised if we see it again. He called that coming out of the timeout for Tello. Hands it off to Penny.
He's going to wrap it around to Bartlett for three from the corner. Go!
Oh, everything is going the right way for New Zealand.
And what did Fratello say? You got to make shots. And it's just like you just said. They haven't made a lot of threes.
And that's a third 3-point, 14 points for Bartlett.
Mishula, though, answers with a three.
That was a fourth 3-pointer for Bartlett. What a game he's having off the bench.
But just seeing Mishula make that three makes you wonder there's a little bit of life here in the Ukrainians. Frank follows the shot now. Here comes Jeter. And passes up the three, gets inside, but misses the layup.
Oh, that was a tough shot. He needed to make that one. I mean, he just split the defender, went right by him, just could not make a spectacular shot.
Well, Mishula gave a body block to Webster as he was coming back, and then reached his hand out to apologize, and I suppose Webster just had to accept it. Looked like it was kind of a tough block there. And again, if you're New Zealand, you can't be worrying about the clock. Look at the pass! It's a clinic right there. I mean, the passing from New Zealand's been fantastic.
But I'll tell you what, they do take some risky passes. They have to, I guess, the way they're undersized and they move on the floor.
Every single coach after the New Zealand game, oh, nice shot from Jeter. Every single coach talks about the unorthodox way that New Zealand play.
That's why it's so difficult to play against them, and it's why they're beating the opponents on the glass. I'm sure about that.
It's fascinating. And how much of that goes back to Tab Baldwin, I wonder, the former coach. There's, oh, beautiful drive from Webster.
What a move right there by Corey Webster. Incredible. I mean, he just looked the defenders down, stared him down, and shook and begged them. Incredible. What a spectacular move. Look at that one more time. He just loses Mishula in a heartbeat. Goes over the big man. Zaitsev.
You know, at times Webster has been dynamic, hasn't he? He's
both
an
brothers.
Explosive player.
We think a lot of future there on the perimeter.
Don't forget also the points differential now as the potential.
Absolutely.
You know, obviously New Zealand just want to win the game.
Yep.
But if they can win it by a big margin, that would help them in case of a potential tie-breaking situation. So you've got to watch this. They finish up against Finland, New Zealand. And Jeter misses the long one.
And also for Ukraine, this is a dangerous territory. I mean, you don't want to lose big, as you said, because they play against the United States tomorrow.
Although I don't think that would go into the reckoning. You see Penny.
No, but
this game. Oh, yeah.
This game would.
This game would, but if they were to lose heavily against the United States. Yep. Offensive foul called against Fotu.
No, it's on Kirk Penny, I think. He just pushed
right, sorry.
But he's been, the defenders just, this is so difficult for his mind. I mean, just to keep his cool because he's been hugged and he's been just pestered the whole game. Somebody has been in his face the whole time he's been on the field.
Look at it. Pushing off Zabrachenko.
But how close is Zabrachenko? He's on the weak side. He doesn't even care about the ball on the other side. He's just close to Kirk Penny.
Jeter. And Frank coming in, gets the foul, kind of a swipe at the ball.
That was a good foul because still they only had 3 team fouls before this foul was committed. So this is team foul number 4. Now Ukraine is in the bonus.
Oh, quick pass inside to Kostosvanov. So
that was a
fell
mistake.
asleep.
Yep. Completely wasn't aware of the player behind their backs.
Takes it out. Faces a double. Frank puts up a 3. Not sure that's what New Zealand are looking for.
I think he's also very tired. I mean, he's just exerted a lot of energy there on the court. Casey Frank.
Mishula for 3.
Points lead for New Zealand. 3 minutes, 38 seconds to go.
Well, New Zealand lost Their first game by 3, their second game by 10. Nice drive from Penny. Sorry, they lost their second game by 13, so they have a minus in the potential 4-way tie that you're thinking about. -3 plus another minus, so they're -16. So they need to try to improve that point differential.
But I'll tell you what, Kirk Penny, did he have to work very hard for every single point that he scored today?
He has, but
He's earned every one.
he hasn't given up either. You know, it's been kind of a tough first 3 games for him. You'd also have to say with New Zealand, how many teams could lose their first 3 games the way they have and come out and be ready to go today? And we thought for a while there they weren't ready, didn't we?
That's why you do the Haka.
To get fired up.
Yep.
Maybe they should think about the Haka before the second half as well.
We spoke about Kirk Penny. He's been going to this game 30 minutes per game, but shooting only 31% of field goal percentage, and from the 3, only 24.
Today, he's been a lot better.
Both in shooting and passing.
Zaitsev gets in. It's just not falling today for Ukraine. 3 minutes to go. Webster and Bartlett with the rebound.
He's not going to rush anywhere. I thought it was a very quick 3 there by Corey Webster. I don't think he had to take that one.
Penny shooting 46% today from the floor, 6 of 13, 40% from 3-point range, 2 of 5. So definite improvement from him. Here's another 3 attempt. And now he's sub 40. Jeter hands it off to Zaitsev, but the quick hands, it was certainly Casey Frank got his hand on the ball. And for a minute there, it looked like the referee was awarding the ball to New Zealand. Watch how Frank reaches in.
Yeah, he swapped their way.
And then Frank just starts to walk the other way. And the referee initially pointed that way, but obviously he turned it around quickly.
That's what you call the veteran move right there. He was like, yeah, our ball.
Zaitsev. It's foul, so free throws coming the way for Ukraine.
That's a foul number 3 there for Casey Frank. He's a true veteran. I mean, he has seen it all. He's done it all. He's 36 years old, 14 years professional career. Now settled comfortably there in New Zealand.
It's harder for him to be in this team, though, you know, as that naturalized player. There's no guarantee that he would get that spot. He had to go in and really battle it out. You know, it was a tough decision for not to take Nick Horvath, but they took Frank, and today it's really paying dividends. To go.
He just put a little bit too much mustard on that pass. He was looking a long time. I mean, he was faking right, left, the middle. I can't believe that he missed it so badly.
He had Penny where he wanted him in the air. He just threw it over his head. And Jeter takes his time before he picks it up. Jeter gets inside, hands it off to Zaitsev, and he's fouled from behind, and there's Mr. Jeter.
Tell you one thing, New Zealand, Turkey, 12 points difference in 2 minutes. The lead of 12 points for New Zealand evaporated.
It's now a time to get a timeout for New Zealand.
You gotta save it. I mean, they have a substitution right now. There's a free throw coming up. Zaitsev.
Look, coming over from behind. Ty Webster comes in for Kirk Penny. You know, the free throw game could come into it. There's all sorts of variables here that you're looking at. You're looking at points. You want to win the game. You want to win it by a big margin.
No, the first one is to win it.
Exactly.
That was the trap again. Now the half court. Not a bad one. Almost caused a turnover.
Zabrachenko is on Corey Webster. Fotu hands it off to Corey Webster, spins. Over to Fotu for 3. Well, they used 24 seconds. Now Ty Webster gets it back.
They're going to time it out. They're going to use the clock again.
That was an important rebound, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Another offensive rebound there from New Zealand.
Frustrating for Ukraine not to be able to take advantage of the good D.
That was an offensive rebound number 17, Jeff, if you believe that.
Corey Webster gets in, puts up a tough runner, and makes it off the glass.
What a left-handed shot right there off the glass, in motion over the bigger player. Great play by Corey Webster.
Clock is the enemy for Ukraine. They've got to hurry. Dump to Zaitsev. Oh, he's been their man here in the fourth quarter.
Now it's a timeout for Coach Vucinic and New Zealand squad.
Well, they need to talk about breaking the press and how they want to approach it and anticipate what Ukraine are going to try to do. The New Zealand fans, they're happy. Their team is alive and kicking here at the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Timeout, New Zealand.
Listen, every single point counts, okay? If we get to 40, 15, we want to get 17, all right? But if we don't,
Well, just as a reminder, which George alluded to at the end of the first game that New Zealand played against Turkey, New Zealand didn't handle the final 3.5 minutes very well, and Turkey came from behind to win that game. Do you see any calls today, and especially for that UK press, to cause some problems?
Well, I think that just Coach Vucinic just wants to make sure this doesn't happen. I mean, this was they completely came apart. I mean, we said it before, they had a nice, comfortable lead of 12 points, and all of a sudden, it was a tie game. This was a huge shot by Corey Webster. That was a tough one right there over Pustosmanov, who's a lot bigger. Look at the left-handed runner, almost like a sweeping hook. Nice play right there. See Webb. 11 points in the game. That's a big part.
Corey Webster.
If you look at the scoring for New Zealand, 4 players in double digits. What a team effort.
Lacona comes out to receive it from Pustosmanov. And a reach, and almost a foul, but
I mean, he just swore. One of the players at his leg, one was crawling on his body.
Fratello, he thought he had the turnover, but the foul was called on Pustosmanov.
That was a lot of contact.
He was wrapped up.
Pustosmanov just like reaching in. Make sure.
Oh, how does he feel about watching this?
This is tough. I mean, if you get injured, it's such a big part of the team. You're so close to making it to Barcelona. With the win today, they could have been for sure to the next round among 16 teams, best in the world.
You know,
it's gonna be very difficult.
Taking on 0-3 New Zealand. I mean, just on paper, you think maybe they'll do this.
I mean, of course, we know that this Group C in Bilbao is just so even after the United States. But still, I mean, you're looking at a team that's 0-3. You just feel you get the best chance in the world to make the next step to Barcelona. Well,
that shot was no good.
1 for 5 free throws from Mika Lacona. That is not a good performance for him there from the free throw line.
10 of 17, 59% overall. And the timeout is called. So Ukraine want to discuss their options here.
Ball's over here.
I suppose at this stage they're going to continue to look inside.
You got 1 minute to go. I think that you're going to look for a quick two.
switch screens in front. Switch screens in front of the post.
Let's see. I
Don't
think
give
that
the
they're
shot.
doing this.
Outside shot.
New Zealand gets a rebound, then you just really have to start thinking about the point differences.
You don't give the outside shot.
You just say, okay,
The
this game
guys
is
to
long,
front,
but
the
let's just
mismatch.
take crazy shots and allow New Zealand to run up some points.
Let's go for a quick one if we can, okay?
I think it's
30
almost
might be a number as well. 30
sure.
might be an important number for us.
Ukraine's going to go for 2-2 if they lose. And then tomorrow, if they lose against the United States, which looks likely, they're going to be 2-3. So then it's going to be a big game of point differences. So I think if they miss this shot right here coming out of the timeout, they're going to start thinking about the point differences. That would be the smart thing to do. Let's see.
So it's Webster, Vacona, Webster, both Webster's Fotu, and Bartlett, who I think is a good free throw shooter for New Zealand. Gustafsson is going to inbound it, try to get it to Jeter perhaps. 5 seconds is the call.
Absolutely the worst thing that could have happened to Ukraine. Look at that. That is unbelievable. After timeout, you don't inbound the ball. I don't believe it happened.
Sasha Volkov, we saw the expression on his face. And Webster now.
They're not fouling. Okay, so now they're really thinking about the point differences. They're going to play tough defense.
A little bit of careless ball handling there from Webster, so that gives him a chance. And Jetter's upset, more unsportsmanlike.
He is not happy that he got tripped there from behind.
It was not intentional. Webster tried to help him. Ty Webster, watch this.
He tried to reach in. That was not intentional at all. It's understandable that Crew is upset because of the way the game is gone. But that was not intentional at all.
But the good news for them is the clock stops. Put a good free throw shooter at the line.
What a careless turnover by New Zealand, huh? I mean, why don't you just pass it around and just use the clock? Why do you try to split the defense, go into risky position?
Now, Richards is going to call a timeout because,
as we said before, he wants to make sure. He wants to talk it over.
Shooters roll.
But
it's back to a 9-point game.
That's 3 3-pointers. I know that's a stretch right here, but I mean, it's still doable. 49 seconds. I have seen worse happen to teams. This is basketball, don't forget. You have to play till the last second.
Vucevic senses a little bit of uncertainty out there.
Well, I mean, with the ball handling that you're never sure that they're going to turn the ball over. I have to say that the New Zealand players, they've been taking some big risks with the ball handling. Like we saw in the last
more timeouts, listen. They're going to take it at half court. 5-9, get a steal.
Let's get.
We don't want to foul. We want some points. Okay? Right now.
He said points.
Any dribble, switch.
Foul.
Switch
They're thinking about a point difference.
right now. We get it. We got to go. Attack.
You only heard the word.
Spot up.
And I think this is what Mike Patel is thinking about right now.
100 blue again.
They're going to try to double up with some pressure defense. If they don't cause the turnover, they're going to fall back and play some solid defense. Get a rebound, maybe try to shave off a few points there from the deficit. I bet you cannot dance like that, Jeff.
I can. I go back to the 70s.
With the clothes too.
Now, you can see Fratello still talking to his players well out onto the court. Now Fratello's going to walk out there with him, Coach. Let's go back. There he goes. Bartlett is able to inbound it to Vacona.
I'll tell you what.
It's not fouling, but at least they fouled the right guy.
That's true. I mean, he's missed 4 free throws today, but did New Zealand have trouble inbounding the ball too, like Ukraine? Just almost came down in the last second.
This might help them. You know, Vacona doesn't look comfortable out there at the line. Get the ball back.
They make some substitutions. They put Kirk Penny and Corey Webster to the bench. He sent out fresh legs there for defense. Oh, that was well short right there.
Gladier is thinking about the possibilities. So now, Moore, do you go down and shoot the 3? They've got to box out and get the rebound. It makes 1 of 2. Go back to a 10-point game. Now Jetter's got it. 45 seconds to go in the game. Jetter drives in.
misses the layup. Can you believe it?
Oh, this is like the third time that Purdue has missed an easy layup. I don't think he believed in himself. What an easy shot.
Over to Webster. 14 on the shot clock. Webster puts up a long three, and they are lucky because that was not a good shot.
Extremely lucky. I couldn't
That's
believe
inexperience.
it. Why did he have to shoot that shot? I mean, he still had about 80 seconds there left on the shot clock. He could have easily looked for a better position to be made. Mixula just cannot believe that he lost that rebound. Completely had it in his hands.
Now it's interesting with 21 seconds left, they have to think about, do they go for, I guess they're going to try to hold it for the last shot.
Exactly. They're going to play for the last shot. Just shoot. Isolation, pick and roll situation.
Pick Kona out.
You do? I would do.
In terms of foul trouble.
But I don't think that Ukraine's going to fall. It doesn't make any sense at all because you don't know what the point differences are going to be. So you're going to try to play some tough defense. That's all. Maybe some pressure there on the inbound. Try to get a steal, but if not, don't foul. New Zealand is in the bonus.
Ukraine came into this with a 10-point win over the Dominican Republic. 5-point defeat to Finland, so that's +5. And then a 6-point win over Turkey, so that's +11. They're +11 in right now when you consider the teams that are in that mix for that tiebreaker. So New Zealand, on the other hand, they came in -3 plus -13, so -16.
But they still have to win tomorrow.
So they're oh yeah, of course, but they're -6 right now. But it just goes to illustrate how important this last possession is for New Zealand. They need to get points. That's how they're looking at it.
Oh, but they're gonna go only with one shot. Kirk Benny, yeah, he's gonna do it.
Well, he's gonna go straight at it.
Wow. I guess you're right. They're thinking about points big time.
I thought they were thinking about points, but like just a little bit later in the shot clock. But maybe they were thinking that Ukraine suspected that they were going to run out the clock.
Now you're getting too complicated.
You get dizzy, like walking around Bilbao the other day. I got lost. And he makes the first one.
That's a good man to have at the free throw line. Library option there in the corner.
Gosh, I mean, this is where the coaching, you have to be absolutely 100% prepared to be an international basketball coach. You have got to know the rules. And then some. And you got to know when to call the timeouts, when to make the substitute. I mean, it's not easy. You got to be prepared. And you need good assistant coaches to help out, and the players have to be able to understand. Now, Jeter gets it up to Postosvanov. Jeter. They don't want to take it too soon, but Postosvanov puts up a three, no good. Into the hands of Webster. They did take it too soon. Now Webster and Abercrombie puts up a runner. Oh, that almost went in. That would have been important in the grand scheme of things, but as it is, a 12-point win.
That will be important, but a great win there for New Zealand. What an inspirational effort by the Kiwis.
Fascinating encounter. New Zealand beating Ukraine 73-61.
These are the team stats, Jeff, but I think that we have spoken about him enough. I just want to talk about the individuals for New Zealand. Kirk Benny, monster game there with 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. And he was pestered and absolutely guarded all over the floor for 40 minutes. So I really give him a lot of credit for coming out, being the team leader, and not only making the shots, but also rebounding and making some passes. Bartlett, Everett Bartlett. I mean, this sequence when he hit the three-pointers in the second half, he was really instrumental in kicking it gear and pushing New Zealand towards the victory.
Isaac Fotu with a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds. Penny led the way with the 17.
Maybe that was the presence on the inside that we were asking for from Isaac Fotu or Rob Lowe. I mean, he really responded. And here you got Ty Webster just walking to the fans. Look at that right there.
And Jeter with 4 turnovers. You're right. There's Webster. Comes up to get a shirt that maybe says we're still alive. As he runs over to join his teammates in the big show in the locker room.
48 rebounds for New Zealand, 25 for Ukraine. They're the standings.
We spoke about it before this group started. We said United States is looking very strong. They are very likely to take the first place, but after that it's going to be wide open. And I mean, we got our wish granted right here. We got an incredible 2 games coming up today, and then last day it's going to be incredible.
It's going to be a sleepless night for everybody, folks. Thanks for watching.